Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Ganganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. This work that we are going to talk about is one of the most sacred dialogues because it happens between two enlightened beings. One is Ashtavakra, the other is King Janaka, which was Ashtavakara's disciple. So in it you will have a glimpse of the instruction of an enlightened being so that you can achieve liberation, and also the vision of how a liberated being stands, acts, what is his experience. So pay attention to these teachings, fill your heart with surrender, devotion, sacredness, because that is the way to enjoy it the most. May it blossom in your heart, may you also find liberation. Moving on, Chapter 7, Ashtavakra Samhita, Nature of Self-Realization. So Janaka continues in his exposition. In me, the boundless ocean, the arc of the universe moves hither and thither, impelled by the wind of its own nature. I am not impatient. So, in me, the boundless ocean, he doesn't see himself as part of that universe, of that arc of the universe. And it's interesting, the term arc, where all things are contained inside. Moves hither and thither. So he observes his outlook to the universe is a distant one, impelled by its own nature. So it is doing what it wants. And I'm not impatient. So I have no interest whatsoever in it, no expectations whatsoever of it. I just observe it from a distance, and it is doing its own thing, whatever that means. So, but it is in me that all of this is happening. And I am that boundless ocean. And creation in the universe is just a distant thing that it's doing its own thing without affecting me in the least. So hither and thither, it's like there's not a specific destination for that arc of the universe. And in reality, there isn't. It's just a play. Just a play for things, just circumstances for the play. But the outlook from the awakened one, from the enlightened being, is that he is the self, and in him, the universe is like an arc that moves here and there according to its own will, volition, according to its own needs, according to its own nature, without affecting him in the least. And he continues, in me, the limitless ocean, let the wave of the world rise or vanish of itself. I neither increase nor decrease thereby. So again, full identification with the self and the world. Let the wave of the world rise or vanish. It doesn't make any difference to me. No difference whatsoever. And the ocean is also in the same way. If the waves are rising in the sea doesn't become smaller or bigger. It doesn't change its size. And the wave is just the sea, it's just water. And so for the awakened one, there's only the self, no duality. So whatever appears to be there is just me. And it doesn't matter if the wave is coming or going, appearing or disappearing. It changes nothing in me, because my consciousness is non-dual. So this wave also implies the names and forms. But this is already peeking inside the ark. The ark is full of names and forms, but eventually is all just water. So if there's an ocean with waves, it's still an ocean. If the ocean doesn't have waves, it is still an ocean. Nothing changes that nature of the ocean. So names and forms appear and disappear, but the self is the only thing that exists and is not affected by that, by those apparent comings and goings. In me, the boundless ocean is the imagination of the universe. I am quite tranquil and formless. In this alone do I abide. So now he continues more. First he is talking about the universe as the ark of the universe. Then he goes more into the nature of this universe itself. So it is in me that this imagination of the universe exists. And this shows the nature of this universe from the perspective of the enlightened being. The ignorant one looks at the world and marvels itself because he is in that dream, he is that imagination. He is under the spell of imagination. The awakened one knows who he is, knows what the world is. Now, the individual outlook is towards other individuals. The separation between me and you and others. The outlook of a knower of truth. There are no such thing as others or me and you. He looks at the whole universe as one thing, not as many things together. And he knows it is just imagination. And he is not saying that I'm imagining that. He's saying that in me, the boundless ocean is the imagination of the universe. It is in me, not mine, in me. But whatever it is just imagination. I am all there is. I'm quite tranquil and formless. I have no form. And this universe is made up names and forms. And it is just imagination. Only I exist. In this knowledge alone do I abide. So in this realization alone do I abide. Meaning, I don't mix myself with any of that imagination. The self is not in the object, nor is the object in the self, which is infinite and stainless. Thus it is free from attachment and desire and tranquil. In this alone do I abide. So these verses sometimes may seem contradictory in nature, but it's just different ways of speaking about the same. So in the vision of the recognition of the world, it is saying that this world, I was saying previously, that the arc of the universe moves hither and thither. So like is acknowledging this existence of the universe. But it's not, it's just pointing at one aspect of this issue. Then is saying that it's just imagination. Then it says that I am the self in all, and all are in me. Now he says the self is not in the object, nor is the object in the self, which is infinite and stainless, because it is just imagination. So it's just different ways of saying the same to address different beliefs. So the self is not in the object, nor is the object in the self, which is infinite and stainless. Thus it is free from attachment and desire, and tranquil, because there are no objects. There is nothing beside me, so to what can I be attached to? In this alone do I abide. So in this realization alone do I abide. Okay? The self is not in the object, nor the object in the self, which is infinite. So this infinite aspect is being here to show that opposite from the opposite, or opposite from the opposites, opposite from the objects. The objects are finite, they are limited. And the self is infinite, unlimited. And they have nothing to do with each other. And if the self is not in the object, so it has no existence, because the self is existence, and nor is the object in the self, so it doesn't exist. If there's only the self, objects do not exist. So the self is free from attachment and desire. There's nothing to attach to, and there's nothing to desire either. And it is tranquil, because in the absence of these two, attachment and desire. In this alone do I abide. So this is the nature of self-realization. Oh, I'm really consciousness itself. The world is like a juggler's show. So how and where can there be any thought of rejection and acceptance in me? So it was said that how could he accept or reject? And he is explaining that I'm really consciousness, full consciousness. And the world is just like a juggler's show. So it's just a play. A meaningless play. It's just a trick, an illusion. So how and where can there be any thoughts of rejection and acceptance in me? If I know that it is false, that it is illusory, but it is a show. So it's like watching a show, a magic show. You're seeing the tricks, you're enjoying it, but it's just entertainment. You're not taking that seriously. So it is the same. So it is the same. So if I don't take it seriously, where can there be any thoughts of acceptance or rejection? I know what it is. I know it is false. I know it is illusory. I know who I am. I am fullness, complete, total. There's nothing beyond me. And the world appears as just a show, an entertainment. So how could these questions of acceptance and rejection arise? It only arises in the minds of those who are bewildered by the illusion, taking it to be real, not in the one of self-realization, who is established in the full consciousness of identity. Okay.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.